the new math concept of fractions. Okay, you might have heard this word before or you might not have. So I want to start at the very beginning, okay? Here is the definition of a fraction. A fraction is a part of, a whole, okay? And what it means by a whole is, if you see this big circle here, okay? Let's pretend this circle is a pizza. You have one whole pizza. Now, you need to share that pizza with 2 of your friends or 2 of your family members, but it needs to be fair, okay? So everybody needs to get the same amount of pizza. Now, you need to separate this or divide this pizza into 3 equal parts, okay? So you have one whole pizza and 1, 2, 3 equal parts, okay? So a fraction, a fraction is a part of one whole, okay? Let me show you another example. One example of a set of halves. And halves means you have separated or divided one whole into 2 equal parts. You can see it represented in this circle here, and you can see it represented in this square here. As you can see, this side of the circle and this side of the circle are exactly equal. And if you remember when we talked about symmetry, it means both sides are exactly the same size and shape, okay? The most important thing to remember with fractions is that every part of the whole must be equal, okay? You will always see that word when you're talking about fractions. Just like in lots of things in math, it needs to be equal, okay? So here you have your halves. 1, 2 equal parts of the whole, and in the square, 1, 2 equal parts of the whole square. Thirds, okay? So before you split the whole into 2 parts, now you're splitting the whole into 3 parts. This is the whole, and you have 1, 2, 3 equal parts. If you look at the square, you have 1, 2, 3 equal parts. And you can see they are exactly the same size and shape, each part of the whole, okay? So for thirds, 3 equal parts make up one whole. Now there's one more I'm going to show you today, and that is called fourths, okay? And as you've probably guessed, that means, yes, separating the whole into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Making sure they're equal is very important. Now, one really cool thing about fourths is that it also has another nickname. You can call them quarters. Now, thinking about when we talked about money, do you remember the coin that's called a quarter? Well, and in class, this is my favorite moment about teaching fractions, is seeing the connection on students' faces when they realize that a quarter is 1/4 of a whole dollar. Okay, 4 quarters make up 1 whole dollar, so it's 4 equal parts, and it's all connected that way. It's super cool. Okay, now we learned about fourths, thirds, halves, and that a fraction is an equal part of a whole. Jumping to my other page here, I have set up fractions as parts of a whole. I want to show you all of them together, okay? So we have one whole. This rectangle we're pretending is the one whole, okay? So I'm going to move this down a bit. Bear with me because I'm still learning how to use this program. One whole, okay? And then we're gonna move this. There we go, okay? I've now labeled it, okay? Now, if you look at this really handy toolbar here, it shows you all of these rectangles are the exact same size, but they're divided into different equal parts, a different number of equal parts. So we're only going to look at these three here, but as you can see, there's so many possibilities for fractions, okay? Now, hopefully you remember this from what I just showed you. When a whole is separated into two equal parts, it is called halves, okay? It's called halves. You're separating it into two, okay? Now, here's the next one. Again, look, the rectangles, the whole rectangles are exactly the same size. It's just that they're divided into different sized equal parts, okay? Now, if it's separated into three equal parts, it's called thirds, okay? Because it's separated into three equal parts. Now, the last one I'll show you, as you can see, again, the same size rectangle, but it's separated into four equal parts, and that's called fourths, okay? It's pretty simple to remember, okay? Especially for thirds and fourths. It sounds very similar. It sounds like three. Fourths sounds very similar to four. Halves is the one that you have to remember. It's only two equal parts, okay? And if it's not divided at all, then it's considered one whole, okay? One whole. Tomorrow, we're going to get into what happens, like in this instance here, if not all of the pieces or all of the parts are filled in. What if there's only one? What if there's only two or three? Okay, we're going to learn what that's called. But for today, I just wanted to introduce to you what one whole is. It's one whole can be divided into fractions, okay? And fractions are, oh, I should have included here, equal parts of a whole, okay? Equal parts of a whole. Halves into two, thirds into three, fourths into four. Okay, I hope that that gave you a nice introduction into what fractions are, and we will be working on this throughout the week. Thank you.